Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Bill Kennedy with W. Leon Artistry in my always messy studio. And I am going to throw a picture here of the little candle guy that I'm working on. This is a really, um, pretty simple picture. Painted the entire thing. This will be in all real time, so it's a 32-minute long video, I believe. And yeah, just going to go through the process of how I do that. It's going to be in there real time, everything, warts and all. So you're going to see everything that I do, with the exception of maybe I edited while I was mixing color, changing colors. But let's roll into this tutorial, and I'll see you guys at the end. This is the quick sketch that I made to create this image. All right, so I started out, I laid out my little sketch there that I showed you guys. I'm going to pull this off and leave the candle covered up, the candle wick covered up. And the reason I'm leaving this covered up is the only thing that'll actually be lighter than perhaps the basic tone of the candle. So what I'm going to do is I kind of got some lines drawn in where my candle's going to be. I'm going to use it as a stencil line. So I mixed up this light peachy, roughly a skin tone, okay? And I'm just going to go ahead and base everything in down here. Gonna put this light peachy tone everywhere that the candle is gonna be, and that's gonna be my base tone. But I'm gonna stay off, as you can see, by covering that, I keep myself off of the flame. So this color, really light. It's very light skin tone again, as I was saying. I'm going to take my accent color, which is going to be kind of a blushish tone for my candle, and I'm going to spray over the top of my little stencil piece there. And what that's going to allow me to do is see my candle, so I can work on my candle. This way I don't have to worry about overspray, because everything behind it is going to be much darker than this piece. So what I'll do is lay this back down as a stencil later and put in all my darks after the fact. Now I'm not gonna exactly copy my sketch. I ain't drawing. I'm gonna freehand in just where I think things go. So what I'm gonna do is this bottom edge more lightly work with some light paint here and define where the candle starts to roll over, and then I'll define that outer edge just a little bit too. So it'll be lighter on the inside before I get too carried away and go too far with it. There's going to be, so I can just start pulling out some highlights right here and there where it's catching that lip. I can go ahead and pull them now, even though I'll probably add some more color in, and I can pull them back later. And I'll just pull those highlights out. I'll just erase them out, keep on top of it that way. I'm gonna sketch in lightly, because like I said, I'm not gonna sketch anything, I'm not gonna draw anything out. So since I'm just freehanding, of course if you need to put your lines in there and sketch things out, of course do so. But I want to put my mouth in where my mouth's gonna be, the center of my mouth. And then gently just shade in the bottom of the lip. Of course, you got your nostrils. I apologize that I failed to point out I put that little piece where the wax is and covered that up, and then started to put the eye in, and that way the eye did not go over the wax, and started putting the eyes in, just kind of freaky little eyes. Missed a little bit here. Accidentally video was off, but yeah. Came in here, built that eye. And I want to come in with some darker color before it's all said and done. So, creating some random drippy stuff here. And we'll attend to the other part here a little bit. Making that mouth darker on the inside portion. Just letting that blend out in that lip. That makes that lip kind of protrude forward a little bit. I'm going to use that blush as the base tone for my wood, just because I have it in there. And covered up, obviously covered up everything. And then I made a mark right here. And the reason I put this in here is this is going to signify the end of my wood, and it's going to give me a location barrier. The wood is actually going to be darker than the background in this area, because there's going to be some like highlighting off of the back wall. We have gone through wood before. I just added some brownish tones to the existing color. I'm just going to get real streaky here. Like I said, cartoony. Now, gonna put some gonna make sure I'm darker underneath the candle than any other place, if underneath the wax there. Give that effect that it's raised up. We'll be doing more to the candle in a little while. Added a little bit of sepia to that mix, making it a little bit darker again. Not a lot. Don't want to get like you're looking at the wood this way. So if you were doing like wood this way, you would probably have stuff stretched out way out like this. That's not what you're looking for in this particular case. Coming a really dark fix on the outer edge. Got a little bit of blue in that, and that's okay because I'm going to be bringing some orange to tie all that in together. And the reason it's got that vignette is because, well, if the candle is lit up, it would be, you know, kind of light up a circle around it a little bit. Brought in, I'm going to bring in some orange, tone that up, more to the tone I like. Warm that up a little bit, like, because if the light was hitting it, I think it would just be a little bit warmer tone than what I had there. Now I got that covered up because I want to keep the center of it white, and I'll just use transparency to get it where I want it later. So I'm gonna, this is just burnt sienna. Better turn that pressure up. I'm running straight out of the bottle, so no reducer at the moment. This is burnt umber. I'm going to come all the way back to that flame, and I'll have to blend into it a little bit. Using transparency. I have a candle tutorial, realistic candle tutorial, explains this a lot better. And I'll throw a card up. You guys can see how I did that one if you're interested. But the process is pretty much the same. Alright, now I'm using Creatix Illustration Decay straight out of the bottle, which is a darker, just a dirty umber, really. Basically, you're just creating a gradient out, and I'm not going to get concerned about making a perfect gradient. Turn this up, because once again, I'm working straight out of the bottle. And it's a transparent, so when I hit the back of that table, it's just barely hitting it. It's not that big a deal. So I've added some red violet to that same decay. You see, I'm going to continue my vignette to the outer edge. So I'm not going to a black. This one's a little bit thinner. Got it thinned out a little bit. But I may get just a little bit darker on the outer edge yet. I'll let that drift into, I'm working a little thin. I'll let that just drift into my light. And once I pull this off, I'll show you how I'll finish off that flame. And you can see it's already getting very, very vibrant. So add a little bit of black to that. So it's still got the warm tones because that red violet's still in there and that other color's still in there. And hitting that vignette from the outside. Running it over my vignette. And I'll probably warm that up a little bit more. And having the vignette from the wall behind it kind of match up with the vignette on my wood. Yeah, we got a little bit of overspray in it, but nothing major. Oops. Sorry about that, gentlemen, ladies. And now I want to take a little bit of yellow. Get the outside edges of that flame a little bit. Let that yellow blend into that. See how that transparent yellow kind of gives a little bit more to that. Add a little bit of umber to that yellow. A bit. And I'm going to kiss the outside edge of that flame just a little bit. Come down into it just a little bit, and then we're going to put a little bit. Our wick's going to be here, so I'm going to have a little bit of shadow right there. Just lightly blend that in. Now the wick's going to be here, although it's going to be darker than this. I'm going to go ahead and just use that color while I got it. I'm going to come in here and darken it a little bit from there. Got to clean up this overspray. Underspray, I guess I should call that. It's where when I was spraying, I got up underneath my sensor from not holding it down real good, and that's all right. I'm going to outline this back edge. I want to just scratch out the highlight. Just going to start darkening in edges of that candle. I'm going to chase along this edge, deepen this in. This umber will give me a little bit of orange tones, which is what I'm looking for, as well as allow me to darken. You might be wondering why I didn't just put this in as color, because we don't have a reference for this, so I can't just come along and mix the color exactly that I want. I've got to be able to look at the picture and adjust accordingly. I'm going to take that umber, because I want it to be a little bit orange glow, gently, working with the transparent, and I'll just use a little bit on the top, and I'm going to continue to work my orange down, and then what I will do is come in and darken I can still see my lines. Notice I'm not just, throwing those lines in really, really dark. And at this point, it's probably smart to use a shield to do some of my shadowing. This is not the last layer of dark. Using my little tiny little shield I got from Tommy Ham. These are the American curves, he calls them. I'll blend that edge in just a little bit. Now I want the outside to be a little bit darker than the inside on that edge. Now, following those same have to play with it just a little bit. Now I have other drips on top of those drips, remember? You can barely make them out now. And maybe even one coming underneath it there. Just making up drips as we go. Now, got to come back in, and I'll still go in even darker. Come back in and redefine. Now, I'm gonna darken in. See how it makes that brow come forward by darkening in over there? Now we just get to put some cool stuff in there. Gonna darken up the outer edge of that nose right there. Gonna round off these edges a little bit. We're gonna put some highlights in there. We're also gonna go in with another layer of dark. Alright, so now I've got a dark, very dark brown. It's actually Decay by the Creative Illustration setup or line, Tim Gore's Bloodline. And really carve in the spots I want to enhance that are really dark. Also, going to use it because it's darker than my other to put that shadow underneath. The drips. As we get further from the light, less of that orange, we'll just gently put a little bit of color in really lightly on the bottom. Just touching up. Things I need to. Alright guys, that's going to be it for today. And as I think I mentioned, I was going to put a card up for the other realistic candle that I painted before. So I'm going to try to remember to do that. Got to get in here, edit stuff out. That's going to be the end of the tutorial, I should say. And you know, sometimes I'm speaking a little bit too fast. But if you guys like the video, please, please, please leave me a comment down below. Comments help my channel grow greatly. So, and likes and shares and all that cool stuff. And that's about all I got for you today. This is just kind of a, not a serious piece, just something playing around, having fun. Hopefully you guys enjoy that, and hopefully you understand not to take your art so seriously. I do a lot of really realistic stuff and a lot of portraiture and stuff like that. So, it's important for me to remember to break down and have fun. What I started doing art for in the first place was doing these, you know, really whimsical and fun pieces. But anyway, guys, we appreciate you stopping by our channel. Y'all have a great day.